Hey gang, Patrick King here, coming to you live from Misty Oaks Farm in Stanton, Virginia. Today I want to talk about something I see riders struggle with quite a bit. In fact, I see them struggle so much that they've kind of gotten used to the struggle, to the point where they're struggling and they think that's the easy part. We're going to talk about bridling. And, I'm not going to pick on any one person or one organization specifically. I'm just going to talk about a way that's maybe a little easier to bridle your horse that's also going to keep you a lot safer. So a common way that we see riders trying to bridle their horse is they basically kind of climb underneath their horse and wrap their arms around their horse's face and try to come up this way. Now, this mare here is kind of tiny, so it's a little easier, it would be easier to get that done that way, but we see riders with big warm blood, 17, 18 hand horses, and they're struggling to bridle that way, and they think if the horse stands there fairly still, then they've succeeded, right? One of the things that we want to think about, though, is every horse that I've seen has been able to put their nose down to the ground, which we can use to help bridling become a lot easier for us. So what I want to think about whenever I'm bridling my horse is I want to keep myself in a little bit of a safer and more controlled position. So what I'm going to think about doing, what I'm going to think about doing is keeping myself on one side of the horse instead of trying to be in front, underneath, and now on two sides of the horse. I'm going to have my right elbow up on my horse's neck. I'm going to have the crown piece of my bridle in my right hand. I've taken off the nose band just so that you can see more clearly what's going on here. Are you ready? So I'm going to first fish for her nose right here this way. Now she knows how to drop her head and bring herself here to help me. If your horse needs you to, take a little bit of extra time to get this done. From here, if our horse were to struggle or lift their head, I could ask for the nose to bend around here a little bit just by holding on the cheek piece of the bridle. I could ask her to bend around here, and with my arm just gently resting on the top of her neck, I could ask her to lower her head down. From here, if she decides to finish yawning, from here I can have control of the bit with my left hand while the bridle is controlled with my right hand. I'm going to ask her to open her mouth from here, and my right hand is the one that's going to lift the bit up into position, lifting the bridle into place. Again, if your horse is worried about this, take your time to get them ready for it. There's never a rush to get your horse bridled in this situation. As soon as you get in a hurry, you know it's going to start to go wrong. Another thing that I'm pretty big on, I stress quite a bit, is not just pulling the bridle over the horse's ears. I want to push the ear forward and bring the bridle across. Push the ear forward and bring the bridle across. I've seen horses that have actually had ear injuries by pulling the bridle across, and the horse gets upset, lifts their head, maybe bumps it against a stall door or something and breaks the cartilage in their ears. You don't want to go through that. From here then we can buckle the rest of our buckles if we need to. Unbridling would work the same way. My left hand can ask my horse to bend around, while my right hand controls the top of the bridle, pushing the ears forward, and I don't want my horse to ever rush in this case. I want them to wait. It's more about the getting ready to bridle and the getting ready to unbridle than it is actually the bridling or the unbridling process itself. So many riders, as we've said, are so used to it being a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a fight, so they try to rush through. And of course then, the horse has the tendency to rush with that as well. And that's when we see horses, when you're dropping the bridle, you hear the bit clanking on their teeth, things like that. We try to avoid that as much as we can. I want my horse's head to be hanging pretty vertical when I take the bit out. Think about the construction of your horse's teeth. If their head is hanging down vertical, when they open the mouth, they've got plenty of clearance for the bit to come out. If their nose is sticking out, when you try to take the bit out of their mouth, it's going to clank on their teeth. And then next time you bridle, they're going to be thinking about that, they're going to hold that memory, and that's going to make unbridling a little more challenging as well. So again, for unbridling, my right hand is the one that's controlling the bridle itself. My left hand is controlling the bit. I can tickle her tongue here a little bit to help her open her mouth, and that's where then we simply drop the bridle from there. So just a couple little tips there for you to help make bridling a lot less of a struggle, so that it's a lot safer, a lot easier for you and your horses. Thanks, gang.